What's going on, guys? It's been a while. I'm Kevin Darty, and today we're gonna break your radio. No, I'm just kidding. But if you have a QX7 and you have a Crossfire module, you may have ran into this issue. Let me just show you real quick. So I'm gonna boot up my radio, and now we're connecting here. So we're connected. Now let's just try arming and such. Seems to be working fine.
Telemetry
lost. Oh, there we go. There's one.
Telemetry recovered.
And again. And now I'm going to tell you this is not...
Telemetry recovered.
This is not because the radio is too close to the receiver, kind of like with your X4Rs and stuff like that. This is a totally different thing. Of course it's... Now, if you try to fly like this, it'll kind of fly from what I've heard. I haven't actually tried to fly, but it will keep doing this telemetry lost, telemetry recovered, and you don't get reliable telemetry. You don't actually get reliable telemetry information coming back to the radio. As you can see, that gets annoying really fast. So today, I'm going to show you guys how we are going to fix that. All right, let's stop that for now. Okay. Before we get into the actual fix, I want to explain what's going on. So this is using the Crossfire protocol between your Taranis and the Crossfire module. And what that's going to provide you with is the lowest latency data connection from your radio to the module. Now, if you're running an X9D, this wasn't an issue. When I tested it before on my old Taranis, not an issue. The issue is that some of the components that they've used to assemble the QX7 in its current iteration, the inverter, signal inverter, I don't know, I'm not like a technical guy. I know there's an inverter in there that we're gonna replace because it's not capable of handling the 400K serial connection that Crossfire is using. So I'm going to have links in the description to the products that I'm using, to the pictures that I will also probably be editing in with some credit, where credit is due today, and some software fixes. There are several software workarounds. Number one, instead of using the Crossfire protocol, you can use the PPM protocol. But if you've been around a while, you remember when we were flying the D4Rs and why we went to X4R receivers, because we went from PPM to S-Bus, and the connection speed was so much faster, it was a huge step. So I don't want to add a slow PPM signal back into my control link status. The other option that is just like came out, I think yesterday, is a software fix. And now what this software fix does, you have to be, number one, it only is for the QX7. Number two, it's you have to be on the Crossfire firmware 2.07 and on the OpenTX firmware 2.2.1, which is not even a stable build yet. And then in both of those, there's an option to run the Crossfire at a slower serial connection. So instead of running it at 400K, you're going to run it at like, I think it's 112 or something like that. So you're getting a quarter of the speed of communication, which means fewer updates per second. Is it going to be something that's like a slow enough hit that you're going to feel it? You know, I don't know, but I like the fastest connection that I can get. And so if you want the fastest connection, this is the way to go. Some other people have messed around with adding resistors in, and some people have had really good luck with that, and some people have still continued to have the telemetry issue. If you replace this inverter, then everyone that I've spoken to that has done it has been successful. Now, I want to just be clear right here. This is not for the timid, okay? This is not for the inexperienced solderer. God, that's a weird word. This is not for someone who is new to soldering components, okay? What we're gonna do is we're gonna be removing a surface mount transistor and wiring in this inverter. Now this inverter is teeny tiny. I'm gonna show you right here. Look at this, okay. Do you see that? Let me get out of the shot myself. Do you see that? That's 3 of them. Yes, 3. There are 3 teeny tiny ones in here. I don't know if you can see that. I don't know if any of that is going to translate for now. So this is teeny tiny stuff. I don't know how much of this is going to work well in the video, but I'm going to try to do my best at showing you guys exactly what it is that we're going to be doing. So without further ado, let's just kind of dive right in. Now, the first thing to do, we don't need the Crossfire in here for this, obviously. Yeah, Crossfire out. Now, if you have a QX7, you have probably had the backplate off, because if most of them come with the throttle centering, and we don't want that. You had to take the backplate off to fix that. So, second thing, you're gonna get rid of this battery. I got a LiPo in mine. Whatever it is, get your battery out, because you don't need to have this thing powered while you are working on it. Okay, now, one thing to consider when working on your radio and taking it apart like this is to have something soft to set it on. Now, for me here, I have taken a blanket and kind of spread it out on my workbench so that I have that to be all nice and soft. Now, to get the back of the radio off, it's only 4 screws. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and get to removing those guys. All right, screws out. Now this is just gonna, let's see here, just lift off like that. So the component that we're gonna be removing is on this board right here, but it's on the back side. So we also have to remove this. Now, you're gonna notice right here, that's our vibration motor. If we take out the screws for this and move this board, that motor is gonna kind of get dislodged. So we're just gonna kind of take it out so that it can flip and flop around. And then we're gonna get to removing some screws on this guy. So, oh, these guys, these components are tiny. This is a project that is beyond anything I've really done before, and definitely beyond out of my comfort zone. Okay, why is it not coming up? The board's all loose. I think that's the wheel side. Yeah. Okay, so once you've removed all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 screws, and you're trying to lift up the circuit board here, you may feel a little bit of resistance. That was just the little wheel that's on the right side of the front. There's like a rheostat that goes into that. Yeah, sure. And so, don't pull too hard. That ribbon cable. Man, you know what? Let me think about this. There are a freaking lot of cables. It's making it difficult to pick this up and get to where I can work on it without messing up the ribbon cable to the screen, which you definitely don't want to do that or you lose your screen. There's so many nice things about the screen. Okay, so what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to connect every cable that I can. You know what? I think I'm even disconnecting the ribbon cable for the screen. I've popped those back in before. I know I can do it. So I'm going to get to disconnecting so that I don't accidentally screw up. A good rule of thumb whenever you're working on something like this, take pictures as you go. This way I have pictures of all of the wiring and where everything should be. I think it's pretty self-explanatory in terms of most of these only fit into one slot. Maybe these 2 things where the black wires are coming out, those look like they could go either way, and that will help me to make sure that I get those in the right spot when I'm reconnecting. I am going to recommend removing them before you undo the screws. That way this board is not moving around as much as it is on me. Okay, now that we have everything apart and I can see the thing that I'm going to be removing here, which it's tiny. Let's see, can you see that? It's this guy right here, right where my fingernail is, that Q400. Q400. That guy has got to go. So that is our offending component that is keeping the Crossfire from working properly. Oh, look, we lost a knob. Don't lose your knobs. Okay, real quick before we go any further, the link for this is going to be in the description. I had found this mod on the OpenTX, I think it's the forum pages. Yeah, the GitHub pages for OpenTX. I had seen this and I saw the resistor mod You can see the details about the firmwares if you want to run the slower protocol. But the user who did this for the first time and took these photos, where's he? Oh, I know he was credited on here. Okay, there he is. Nathan, how do you say that? Nathaniel K. Kermans. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. Anyways, thanks, dude, because this is saving me a bundle. So here are the photos that I promised you of the resulting mod. You see we have one connection here at that Q400 that we're removing. That's going to be the signal in. And then it's going to go into our inverter. Actually, it's going to go into our inverter here. And then we have, this is the signal back out, which goes to the S port. Now this pin is connected directly to the rear module bay. That's why I was able to connect it here. And then we get 3.3 volts and a ground. Both of those, looks like on either side. Here, yeah, ground, 3.3 volts. That's going to be used to power it. We got the in, we got the out for the inverted signal, and you have all of your connections. Now, the one thing I want to do, because I would just feel more comfortable, this is the product that I purchased. I purchased 3 of them. I don't have 100% confidence in me doing this. I'm pretty confident, but I just want to make sure. 3 pins on one side, 2 pins on the other. Got ground, voltage, top view. Okay, so let's look here at his. Now, ground, white cable, going over to the 3-pin side on the bottom. So it's like we're going to rotate this guy around just a little bit more than 90 degrees so that the 3-pin side is on the left and that white cable is going to ground, right? So the 3.3 volt is going to be going to that, what will be top right once you rotate it, VCC. So we got those 2 diagonals. So that's making sense. Boom, boom. Ground, voltage in. Now, the signal coming out that's going to S port is coming off the middle pin of the 3. And the signal that's going all the way to the back side, that's the input, is going to the bottom on the side of this. So this is the input, and that's the output. Who knows what NC is, but I ain't going to worry about it, because that ain't connected to nothing. So we need those 4 cables. Got it? Okay. I'm going to be referring back to this because we're just going to be trying not to screw this one up. That's all I got to say. Okay, so first thing is first, I need to get this guy off. And first thing I need to do is to remove this Q400 here. So I'm going to do this very carefully, not so carefully, because it doesn't matter if it's dead, it's not going to be on here anymore. So with a lot of surface mount components, they are lead-free solder, and it's just going to take a little bit higher temperature. So I'm cranking my soldering iron up a little higher than I normally go, see if we can't get a little bit better luck on this guy. Turn this around too, maybe hit the side that's only 1 pin first. Don't criticize me for doing this wrong. And you can't see anything anyways. Okay, the bright side, it's removed. The downside, I almost took out my eye doing it, and I didn't really get the whole thing. Yeah, upping the temperature definitely helped. I don't think I was going to make much progress on the original. Alright, so we got that guy removed. I destroyed it in the process, but I got it removed. One of the important things I would recommend to keep things clear so that you are not dealing with the same sort of situation as our buddy was is, let me just zoom out here for a second. Oh, that's the wrong way. Is to get you some different colored wire. I could probably go with even smaller, but this is what I've got, and so I'm just going to use these guys. Oh, man. Dude. Okay, I may be looking for some different wire. The wires that I originally set out to use, they were way too big. So I found an old connector in my bin of old wires here. These guys are much more the size that I'm looking for. So I'm just going to kind of strip these, tin the wires. There we go. Got all of our wires properly tinned. Now let's start off with the ground. Now you can go back and consult your image. If you line it up so that you have 3 pins on the left and 2 pins on the right, then the ground is the bottom pin on your left. So we're going to connect him to that pin. Try and hold it in place against this guy. So the pins on these, you can kind of fold them around to try to get the best angle on them. I would highly recommend doing that. All right, so we're going to go with the green, which we're making our positive, and he's going to go completely diagonal to the ground. Let's see, you know what? I'm going to try holding it down like this. Dude, that was way easier. Let's do more like that. Signal in, which is going to be this blue guy here. Signal input is going on the same side as my signal in goes same side as the ground, that 2-pin side. So boom. That is fantastic. Now, this is going to be the hard one, because the signal out is coming out of the 3-pin side. The 3-pin side is just freaking tight. Let's see what I can do about bending this ever so slightly, just to give me the best possible chance of success here. Just get on there. I've got it bent so that the only pin coming up towards me here is the one that we want. That is connected and separate. Okay, so we got all of the wires done on the inverter side, which I feel like this is the hardest, going to be the harder side to get done. Hopefully the internals on it are still good. I didn't mess it up by bending pins around and whatnot. So let's just make sure I get this right again. What I'm doing here is I got the computer off to my right. It's just off screen. I'll reference this photo in the edit. I'm looking at the photo over and over and over to make sure that I get all of these correct. So I'm going to start off soldering the one component that is on this side of the board, which is going to be our signal in. And so the signal in goes on the 2-pin side all the way down, which is our blue wire. Okay, so the blue wire is going to connect right here from the Q400 slot. On one side you had 2 pins, on the other side you have 1. So I'm going to just put a little dab of solder right there. Not much, because you got like a surface mount resistor like right freaking next to that. So be careful not to bridge anything on him. And I'm going to try to bring it in at an angle here. Boom. Got that guy. Now the signal out, that is going to go to your S port, which is the pin right here that is also used for flashing like your receivers. If you've had to update your XSRs, which I just did all my XSRs a couple days ago, that goes right onto that pin. And ground, now for the ground, and I'm going to go ahead and do 5 volt first, just because of the way that this layout is working. We're going right here, and ground. Boom. Okay, that actually was not nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be. It's all very easy. I'm going to show you here. Let me tweak this a little bit. I don't know how much of this will have been visible as I was working on it, and it's definitely not visible right in that light. But as you can see, the yellow wire, which I have done as my signal out, is going to the S port pin here. Ground is on this side of that capacitor. The 5 volt is on, or not, the 3.3 volt to the other side. Flip it over. The input signal is on that port right there with the Q400. Now, you could have basically taken all of the info from the from those photos and done just like I did. But I just wanted to show you guys on a little video just how, quite frankly, easy it is. The only thing left for me to do now, I'm going to put some double-sided sticky tape here just to hold down that inverter so it's not flopping around or shorting out on anything. If you just wanted to put down one piece of double-sided sticky tape and kind of stick this guy to it, you could call that done and be probably fine. I'm going to take a second piece just because I'm me. I'm going to stick it on top of there so that if I'm doing stupid things, because I do stupid things such as flipping the radio or something like that, then this inverter isn't going to accidentally come loose. Okay, so now that we've got all of that, I'm going to take just a minute to clear off this area so that I can put my blanket back down for a nice soft working area and put the radio back together, and we will test this guy out. All right, be right back. Okay, so now that all that's left to do is to put that circuit board back in place, reconnect everything, put the back on the radio, and plug in our battery and see what we got. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with that. Now, for the most part, all of these wires just go kind of straight across. I did take a photo, which I recommend you do as well. You may see that some of this looks a little different than your radio. I have updated to the M7 gimbals, so that will look a little bit different, but not that much. It's basically still the same stuff. Okay, as a quick side note, I got everything back assembled, and when I went to boot up the Taranis, it said key stuck. So this is something to be aware of. Don't make the same mistake I did at putting everything back together before you check for this. These buttons over here, they're kind of, they're a little finicky. See, I got the little menu button kind of twisted, and it's stuck pressing down. So now I'm having to take the whole thing apart, which isn't really that bad as far as radios and these components go, and loosen it up, kind of wiggle the buttons around, and put it back together. Yeah, don't do that. Just check before you go putting the radio back together that as you've assembled it, you didn't kind of bind up those buttons. I think that's going to be... Yeah, see now all three buttons click nice and independently. Okay, everything is back together for real now. No binding buttons, and Crossfire is installed, LiPo's in place, powering up.
Dang, buddy, look at them switches.
And, okay. Boom. We have a connection. You can see here. Connection is good. Telemetry is off because I thought maybe if I turned off telemetry in the past that it would quit making that thing, and that did not work, so we're gonna just boom. Now you can see link state running, etc., etc. I'm not sure what all that's saying, but link state is running. Dang. Okay, we got lots of numbers, but we definitely have the RSSI numbers. I like it. I like it a lot. All them numbers. We're connected. You see here, I'm arming, spinning. None of the telemetry lost, telemetry recovered. The telemetry is running fine on the receiver, fully fixed. All you gotta do is replace that inverter. It's a pain in the butt. I wish we didn't have to do this. I know some of the early QX7s, this was not an issue. Hopefully, FR Sky, Free Sky, however you wanna say your name. Guys, get on this. Ship the radio with the decent components so that we don't have to mod it ourselves. But you know what? Works now. I'm happy. That's it, guys. If you enjoyed this, if you found it useful, please click that like button. And you know what? I bought 2 extra inverters. So you know what I'm going to do? Let's just do it right now. If you've gotten to this point in the video, this is going to be a giveaway, but this is not a giveaway for the first comment. It's not a giveaway the first person that says, hey, give them to me, because I don't know that you got this far. Do not leave this comment if you don't need this. If you don't have a QX7 and a Crossfire that's giving you this issue, or you know, if you're ordering one and you got one on the way, that'll work too. I'm gonna give away these 2 inverters to the first person who comments with this number 34678. Leave a comment 34678. Please ship me the inverters, and I will ship you the 2 that I didn't use, and you'll be able to mod it. It's like a 42-cent part, guys. It's really not that big of a giveaway. The giveaway is the free shipping to you for the most part. But I'll send you 2 in case you screw one up, just because I wasn't sure that I wouldn't screw it up. But I have faith in you. So 3. You heard the number. Leave that in the comment. Tell me you want to ship it. Tell me you want me to send it to you, and I will get on that. We'll have to, I don't know, we'll figure out the communication, some Facebook, some YouTube messages, whatever works. If you enjoyed this video, click that like button, subscribe, come back. We'll be doing more stuff. Let's have some fun, guys. All right, talk to you later. Bye.